show is AD on the radio. What?
Today on the show, we discuss how Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg wants to take on global income inequality while his own employees are living in their garages and struggling to feed their children. Meanwhile, Funkhauser Googles Ruth Bader Ginsburg's body double.
She can bang my gavel any day.
Wait, Ginsburg or the body double? And taking too long to answer that question.
Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So do you recall the first time that you really felt compassion for other people, felt sorry for another person, felt bad for somebody else, like you wanted to change their situation? I do. It was thanks to the Beatles. These people weren't even real. I didn't know if they existed or not, but I still wanted to do something for Father Mackenzie and Eleanor Rigby. Listening to my parents' Beatles records, I heard that song, All the Lonely People, Where Do They All Come From? And I guess it was a great lesson in compassion, and it was a great lesson in the power of music, because I heard this song about people that were alone, lonely, had nobody, had nothing, were unhappy. And I ran into my mom's room. I was like, Mom, what about all these lonely people? I was in tears. I felt terrible. I wanted to do something for them, but they didn't really exist. But that was my introduction to, I suppose, empathy and compassion. And my mom told me those people aren't real. And I was like, but are there other people out there that feel that way? And she was like, yeah, all the time. And I wanted desperately to help anybody who felt lonely and isolated and by themselves. But of course you can't. And then I remember on the news seeing people starving in Ethiopia, and saying to my mom, we have to do something. What can we do to help them? We've got, and I know we donated. Beyond that, as a kid, there wasn't a ton I could do. And that kind of introduced me to the reality, the horrible reality of the situation. You want people to be okay, but you can't always do anything about it. Do you remember when that feeling first hit you? It's a powerful thing. If you're like me, you hate to hear about people struggling and unhappy. You hate to see people struggling and unhappy. I remember a friend of mine, Mikey, told me once, a guy who I was in a band with playing drums, he had something similar happen to him when he was just in the parking lot with his dad at the grocery store. They're getting ready to leave, and he saw a man come out and just start taking pieces of bread out of a bag and shoving them in his face, and also taking pieces of bologna out of a container and shoving those in his face. And he said he watched the guy eat constantly, like it was going out of style, and he thought it was hilarious. A little kid going, that guy's eating bologna and bread like so fast. Is this like a magic trick? What's going to happen? And his dad turned to him and said, that guy probably hasn't eaten in a couple of days. That guy's hungry. And he said he cried in the car thinking about people being hungry and being upset more that he couldn't do anything about it. Like I said, if you're like me, you hate to hear about people struggling. You hate to see people unhappy, and you would love it if everyone could just get what they wanted, get what they needed to make them happy and secure, compassion and empathy, caring for one another. These things are the things that make the world go around. And I think it's desperately sad when you first realize that you can't help everyone. But then there's strength in knowing that while no one can help everyone, everyone can help someone. I believe that in my heart of hearts. I try and live by this every single day. If you try and be a decent human being, someone that has a real desire for equality, a real desire for humanity to get to a better place, if you really care about folks, it can sometimes be a bit of a heavy burden to carry around. And the cure for that, I think, is what I just said. It's the realization that no one can help everyone, but everyone can help someone. But the bottom line is not everyone is going to be happy and satisfied and secure, as much as digital tech billionaires try and say they can make that happen. And we're going to talk about why Mark Zuckerberg's idea of income equality sadly doesn't match up to reality.
Real radio.
104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So, what does this idea of income equality mean to you? I think we should define our terms before we get too deeply into it, just because it's one of those phrases that's bandied around, and I don't think anyone ever really discusses what it means, and it could mean a number of different things. Let me just say, income equality, in terms of people being paid equal amount for doing the same jobs, is something that I believe in. But quite often, it's a bit unrealistic. My job, being on the radio, I don't get paid as much as the people that are on the radio in the morning. When I was at night, I was acutely aware of the fact that I was doing a very similar job to the person that was on in the afternoon and not getting paid as much. Same set of skills, same ability. Sometimes, oftentimes, not to thump my own chest too much, I'm outperforming a lot of the people that get paid more than me. It's just the way it is. I'm in a profession where that is the case. And that's unavoidable. But at the same time, if a personality takes over from my night spot and is making less than me for doing the same job, well, forgetting how the world is changing and evolving, and specifically in the world of broadcast media, people are getting paid less and less every single day. But if someone's doing the same sort of performance and they're not getting paid as much as me for whatever reason, I don't think that's fair. Forget race, forget gender, forget religion, forget all the things that people tend to harp on about when they get into the idea of income equality or equality at all. People should have the same opportunity. People should get equal pay for equal work and all of the above. That's the kind of equality I believe in. Is it realistic? Sadly, no. For all the reasons that I just described. But there's this big flag-waving propensity toward fixing income inequality in the world. And one of the big wavers of said flag has been the founder of Facebook, tech bazillionaire Mark Zuckerberg. He's really been going after it hard recently. I was reading in Gizmodo the other day, and I think The Guardian too, that he's really, really made that one of his platforms, something that he wants to address, saying that America should, quote, explore ideas like universal basic income to give everyone a cushion to try new things. And there's some countries where that's becoming a thing, and some countries where they're talking about that becoming a thing. Everybody is guaranteed this amount of income. And that'll give you an opportunity to go off and experiment. Universal income. But the weird thing is, right in his backyard, right in his house, Zuckerberg's proving that that's something that doesn't work. Why? Well, there's these workers that work Menlo Park in California. And there's massive, massive income disparity within the company Facebook. The story came from The Guardian. Did you read this? It's kind of interesting stuff. There's a couple of people that work for Facebook. They're currently living in a 2-car garage with their children. 3 of them, I think. 2 people both working for Facebook living in a garage. What do? Everybody always thinks that people that work for a tech company are making big, big dollars. Well, Nicole and her husband, Victor, they both work in Facebook's cafeteria. They make not bad. They make way over the $15 per hour minimum, but they say it's not enough to provide. They're living in a garage with 3 children, family of 5 in a garage, ages 9, 8, and 4. And they said, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have to go around the world. He should learn what's happening in his city, in his company. I think one of these cafeteria workers makes $19.85 an hour. The other one makes $17.85 an hour. That's not enough for them to be able to get the company's health insurance. $19.85 an hour, $20 an hour. Sounds like an okay number. But Facebook has moved into this town. This is according to the husband in the situation, Victor. Everything is so expensive. He said, I have to get payday loans. We barely make it. Almost $20 an hour. That ain't bad in many parts of America. But according to the living wage calculator, I think MIT came up with that. To make it where they're living, in the town where Facebook is all set up, where they have their base of operations, they would have to earn about $24 to $25 an hour to raise 3 kids in, where is it? San Mateo County. This is where Facebook is headquartered. And there's tech companies like Facebook that have been, weirdly enough, as much as Zuckerberg would like to trumpet on about equality, they're making the gap between the haves and the have-nots larger. How so? Well, Facebook has been pegged as the cause of enormous spikes in housing prices. They come in, housing prices shoot up, and the cafeteria workers are all of a sudden living in rented garages with their 3 kids. And there's more to this.
For more stimulation and less irritation, 9 out of 10 doctors choose KPRC AM 950, Houston's more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
So you, me, all of us, we all agree it's horrible to see somebody else struggling. It is horrible to see somebody unhappy. It is horrible to see somebody that can't make it, can't make ends meet. I think many of us have a hard time seeing that because we've been there ourselves. Or maybe we're there now and we sympathize. But like I said, there's been a lot of flag waving about the idea of income inequality. And one big proponent of waving that particular fiscal flag has been Mark Zuckerberg, head honcho and evil overlord over at Facebook. And a really, really interesting article came out in The Guardian. Mark Zuckerberg is saying that America should explore ideas like universal basic income to give everybody a cushion to try new things. We should all be guaranteed an income so we can go off and fancifully try out whatever it is that we want to do. Now then, right there in his own building, in his house, working for him, are these two cafeteria workers who make pretty decent money, all things considered. I think they're married. They've got 3 kids. The wife makes just under $20 an hour. The husband makes just under $18 an hour. And they're living in a 2-car garage with their 3 children, having to take payday loans because they can't make it. And they're also blaming Facebook for the fact that they have to live in a 2-car garage. They say Facebook came in. Mark Zuckerberg talks about equality and opportunity for all. Facebook, when a big company like Facebook moves into a town, what happens? The real estate prices go up. We've got tech billionaires living here. We've got all sorts of people making big, big dollars working for this company that's just set up shop here. There's going to be a bunch of employees moving here, all making cash. People are going to want top dollar for their houses. And, well, the market is going to support that. So folks like cafeteria workers that have lived there forever are being priced out of real homes and being forced, in this case, to live in 2-car garages. Does this break your heart? For me, it does. It's terrible. It's awful. It's just bad, bad news when you hear about people struggling. I feel bad because of their kids. Kids of 2 hardworking parents willing to put their shoulders to the grindstone shouldn't have to grow up in a garage, watching their parents have to get payday loans. It's just, well, it seems just really, really unfair to these kids. Now, here's the thing, though. That which breaks our heart, that which is unfair, or seems unfair, these things are often intrinsically tied with reality. And as bad as you and I feel about them, it doesn't change the way that the world works. They said that they can't afford company health care. They said they don't have access to the gym because they're just contractors. They complain that Mark Zuckerberg isn't giving them a shot at equality and all the benefits that everybody else gets there. We should be able to use the gym. We should be able to get the health care program. The bottom line is, while these two might not be a representation of everybody working at Facebook, it's tough to hear about Facebook employees struggling to buy their children's clothes and food. But wherein lies the rub? It's a little short-sighted of Mark Zuckerberg not to see what's going on, like I said, right there in his house. But even if he did see it, what's he going to do, really? I mean, this is reality. Not getting into the clinic, not getting into the gym. I would imagine insurance purposes. It would be great if they had health care. And it's sad that they don't. But they're contractors. And they've chosen to take contracting jobs. And here's the thing. If you're contractors and you've taken contracting jobs, and you're cafeteria workers making what is a pretty decent wage, but still living in one of the single most expensive parts of the world. And look, I'm not casting judgment upon people's life choices. I'm just pointing out the consequences. It's not up to me to tell somebody how many kids they can have. But 3 kids the cost of raising a child, giving it a shot, sending it to college. I think Doug Stanhope said once that it's essentially about the same as buying a Lamborghini. And if you have a job that doesn't support buying a Lamborghini, why would you buy 3 of them? And like I said, it's sad, and it might sound a little brutal, it might sound a little cold, but that's where it all falls down a little bit. Figuring out how to pay for that isn't Facebook's problem. It isn't anyone but the problem of the people that had the kids. And I really, really hope there's a positive in this. I really do. I hope that maybe Zuckerberg can figure out a way to get them into a position where they're doing something that justifies all that they do not have. The idea of people, and it amazes me that someone like Zuckerberg would think this, the epitome of being self-made, the epitome of being a self-starter, the epitome of having built something from nothing without the help of other people. You would think that Mark Zuckerberg, if he was going to focus his efforts on righting the fiscal wrongs and inequalities in America, rather than saying, hey, everybody should just get this amount of money and then feel free to experiment, which is, in America, just wildly unrealistic, obviously. But you'd think a guy like that would go, all right, why don't I give them some tools? Why don't I have some sort of resource to get them up in the game where they're going? If Zuckerberg really wants to invest back into America, if he wants everybody to have a level playing field, he is in a unique position to give people that level playing field by developing people, by promoting from within, by offering programs that can not only create loyal employees for his company, but also wind up being very profitable for him if he promotes from within. If he had an opportunity for cafeteria workers to somehow work their way to executive or somehow work their way to being somebody that codes, there you go. There's a tangible right now solution to income equality. So it just boggles my mind, absolutely boggles my mind that someone like him, who has it right in front of his face, who is a living example of how to get somewhere in this world, is thinking it should be different from everybody else than how it was from him. There's only one basic human right, and that's the right to do what you want to do. And with it comes the only basic human duty, the duty to take the consequences. PJ O'Rourke. All right, Funkhauser, what's going on in the world?
This is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser. Barry Funkhauser. Barry Funkhauser.
Barry Funkhauser.
Barry Funkhauser.
Barry.
Would you have a kid right now?
I would have a
Funkhauser?
Lamborghini.
You would have a Lamborghini? You'd take the Lamborghini over the kids?
Well, you're saying I can afford 3 of them.
I'm not saying you can afford 3 of them. No, kids, look, I wanted to be very careful how I got into that, because you're a hop, skip, and a jump away from China's you can only have 1 kid policy. And that's basically taking away a large chunk of your humanity when you regulate reproduction. And, this is a couple. And I don't know the intricacies of their situation. I don't. But if they're cafeteria workers, I'm going to guess they didn't wind up working as cafeteria workers after their fall from some other extremely well-paid job that would allow them to be able to live a little bit more successfully with 3 children. And like I said, I don't cast aspersions on people's reproduction, but life comes with consequences. I would be scared out of my mind to have a kid now. I don't know how I would provide for that thing in the way that I would want to. You know? That thing. As you can tell, I'd make an excellent parent. But it's just...
I couldn't buy a pet. I couldn't get a pet in this climate.
Right.
Not knowing what to... Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally true. It's totally true. Now, with the pet thing, I'm a little more... like, I would... It's funny because I would police myself in terms of having a pet. Like, all right, if I'm thinking of getting a dog or another dog, do I really have what it takes to look after that dog? Because that dog is going to love me, and that dog is going to be the source of so much joy and happiness.
Live into your 50s.
You know how I feel about dogs. And then, you know, not having the ability to look after it properly, I would feel so guilty. If the dog needed something from the vet and I couldn't afford it, or I couldn't make it happen for the dog, I would feel horrendous, awful. But there's so many dogs and so many cats and so many animals with nothing and no one that, you know, aren't going to have a life if they don't get someone. I'm a little more easygoing. I would rather see a dog adopted by someone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah. So
it was a joke.
But yeah. No, it's tough. It's really, really tough, you know, knowing what's responsible. But I wouldn't be able to look after 3 kids right now. And I don't know. I wonder if you break it down hour by hour. I wonder if I make more than a cafeteria worker. I'm not entirely sure that I do, especially the ones that work for Zuckerberg at Facebook. $20 an hour. That's
yeah, but if he started giving money to people, he wouldn't have billions and billions to buy out his competitors.
Well, no, he wouldn't. But that's what I'm saying. If I was him, I would reinvest into my employees. Hey, you know, you want to do better? I want to do something about people in the world not having enough. There's a way for you to work your way up in this company. There's a way for you to learn skills. And also, when you promote from within, you create loyalty and you also create cheaper employees. If you have to go around buying other people and other digital resources up, that's going to cost a lot more than if you go, hey, cafeteria worker, I'm going to offer you a leg up. And you're going to get to a position of, say, executive, and you're going to be making $150,000 a year. Well, to get a pre-existing digital type from another company that can do that job, it's going to cost you way more than $150,000. Now, I'm totally speculating, but the point is, it's cheaper for a company to promote from and train from within rather than to buy someone from somewhere else. That's just economics 101. So, you know, it's amazing. It's just amazing how blind he is to the fact that he can really do. What now?
But you have to not be evil.
Right. Is Zuckerberg evil?
I think there's a little evil in him. I think so. I mean, he bought Instagram for like $200 billion. That's like Dr. Evil money right there.
I bet the person that sold Instagram to him doesn't feel like he's evil. I bet like Zuckerberg's that person's favorite dude on the face of the freaking planet.
Yeah, on his Zuckerberg named yacht.
I don't. You know, it's really interesting because Zuckerberg is such a lightning rod for controversy. There's people that say Facebook has a political agenda. You know, Zuckerberg wants all these things. He's a lefty and he's helping to destroy the Republican Party was what we heard going into this election. Well, as it turns out, if he was, it didn't work out too well. But the other thing is, like, he built that. He can do whatever the hell he wants with it. It's his company. President of Facebook is not an elected position. He gets to do whatever he wants because of the free market that we all love so much. Duh.
Washed away.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior.
Funkhauser, before we get into the news, I gotta play you. I gotta play you something. Have you heard Siri do Bohemian Rhapsody yet?
No, I heard about it. I knew this was coming eventually.
Yeah. Well, this trick went around Facebook this past weekend, just gone by. Basically, what you do is you open up Siri on your iPhone and you say, I see a little silhouette of a man, and then Siri finishes the rest.
I see a little silhouette of a man.
Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the Fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, 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 Galileo Figaro Magnifico. I'm just a poor assistant. Nobody loves me. It's just a poor assistant from a poor family, spared its life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go. Will you let me go? Bismillah. No, we will not let you go. Let it go. Bismillah. We will not let you go. Let it go. Bismillah. We will not let you go. Let me go. Will not let you go. Let me go. Never, never let you go. Never let me go. Oh, no, 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 no.
Did you notice that she substitutes assistant for boy in the line, I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me?
I didn't notice that. That's a good one.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know why. I guess calling someone boy is a little politically incorrect. I don't know. I wonder if that comes from the idea of calling a woman a girl is politically incorrect and diminishing. You know this idea. It's been trotted out numerous times. And the only time I have a problem adhering to it is, and I guess, by that same token, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if Siri's being politically correct, she doesn't say boy, she says assistant. I don't know. But have people given you a hard time for saying girl instead of woman, Funkhauser? Or have you heard that happen?
I don't know when people give me a hard time. I don't think so. I try to call everyone but I call like boys girls too sometimes, depending on how they act. Ooh, girl. Not everyone.
Oh man. See, in some circles you'd be totally fine. In other circles you'd be treading on thin ice right there. Wait, so you're saying ooh girl to this guy? Is that supposed to be diminishing because he's less of a man? Gender equality, trans equality. Oh, Funkhauser, what'd you just do? And meanwhile, you're just hanging out with your buddies. You don't have a bad bone in your body. You don't have ill will in your heart.
Did I do something wrong?
Probably. So tough these days trying to navigate these choppy waters where you as a broadcaster can be taken down for really something that is totally innocent. But the whole girl thing, where it falls down for me is I understand that you wouldn't call a woman a girl, and a lot of times that's diminishing because no one would say about me, he's a nice boy. Maybe they would. I don't know. But I could see how that would be a slight or sort of disrespectful or what have you. But where the whole don't say girl thing falls down is where I say guys and girls. You know what I mean? If guy is the slang for man, what is the slang for woman? And I know what your answer is. Your answer is gal. Like, oh, that gal. My grandfather used to say that all the time. Oh, look at this gal over here. She's driving very badly, or whatever the hell it is my grandfather used to say. But is gal okay to say? If you can't say girl, can you say gal? Guy and gal?
Me? I don't think about it. I just go with what feels right.
Right.
Friend.
You'll chase yourself.
Sometimes you say friend.
You'll chase yourself in circles trying to do the right thing by everyone. So just know to be okay with yourself when you do screw up and someone pounces all over it, because they will. And it's just freaking inevitable. And they're going to tell you you're a horrible, awful person because you said girl or gal instead of woman. And you're just trying to make guy and gal flow off of the tongue in a pleasing sort of way. And you don't bear any ill will toward anyone in your heart. So learn from the experience. Sometimes you get around sensitive people that are going to jump on you for nothing. But that's unavoidable in this day and age. All right, Funkhauser, what's going on?
Oh, man. What year is it? O.J. Simpson was granted parole.
Oh, yeah.
The juice is loose, everybody. Look out.
Yeah. The juice is loose. He's going to be officially loose in October. That's when he actually gets out of jail, right?
Mm-hmm. He's got to fulfill his sentence, the earliest
October. So that terrifying slasher at your door on Halloween could be real. Yeah, they decided to let him out, but only after he pinky swore to seriously cut back on all the murdering.
If I trick-or-treated, here's how it will go.
Yeah. Suck it, karma. OJ's getting out. You know who else needs to be very, very afraid now that OJ's getting out? Now that OJ's going to be a free man walking the streets in October, you know who should really be worried? The real killers of Ron and Nicole, clearly about to be caught. Go on.
During his parole hearing, O.J. Simpson said he could have been a better Christian.
Yep, that's OJ's big regret. The Juice's big regret is that he feels like he could have been a better Christian over the last 20 or so years. Yeah, and you know, it makes sense. He seemed to especially have trouble with that whole thou shalt not kill thing. Go on.
Experts say O.J. could do very well selling autographs.
Yeah. Some experts are even saying he could make a killing. So I guess that's what he's allowed to do. I guess that's what he's allowed to do, right? Because he's not allowed to get a job, but money connected to sports memorabilia, he can keep that, right?
Seems that way. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that develops, or how long he gets the money.
Are you curious to see what happens when he gets out of prison?
Am I? Yeah. Isn't everyone? It's like it's their whole life. It's been in the entertainment. Are you? Or are you just?
I was like, oh man, O.J. Simpson's getting out. What's that going to be like? And then I remembered it'll be exactly like it was before he went to prison after he got off on the murder charges. Like it's going to be the same thing. It's like that guy's out. He's being weird. He's being O.J. He's being strange. That's what it's going to be like. And I realized that we lived through years of O.J. being out of jail, and it's probably going to be exactly the same.
That was like before social media, though. So I hope do you think he'll be on Instagram or Facebook?
I don't know. Are people like? I wonder if there's digital or social media type restrictions for people that are on parole. You know what I mean? It's very interesting.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KPRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
So, Funkhauser, you are...
That's my name. Don't wear it out. Haha.
You are a member of the dating public. You're out there, sort of like actively trying to meet romantic prospects. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, do you get nervous when you approach somebody that you're interested in? Like, say you see a girl over there, and and like you're talking to her, and what are you thinking? You're probably thinking, "Oh man, I wish there was some way I could tell if she liked me the way I like her. Mm-hmm. Like, I wish there was some sort of sign. Am I making a fool of myself? Am I wasting my time? Should I ask her out on a date? What should I do?" Like, you probably wonder this all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like mostly what I think.
Yeah. Well, did you know that scientists have figured out a very easy way to tell whether or not someone is attracted to you when you're talking to them? This is absolutely true. And I know. You want to know right now, but I'm not going to tell you till later because, well, that's the sort of cheap trick that we use to keep you engaged whilst we get through what remains of the news.
I see what's happened.
Let you know. Yeah, see what I did there? That's called a tease. That's a radio technique. We'll let you know how to figure out if the object of your affections is into you in just a couple of seconds later on in the show.
An artist you are. Look at him.
Yeah.
Art. Look at it. Go. There it is. It's
Why
art.
I'm a victim of radio and income inequality is beyond me. With gems like that on my side, how I'm not arriving to work in my gold-plated, diamond-encrusted helicopter every single day is just a freaking mystery. Okay. What else is happening?
The producers of Game of Thrones are developing a series about a world where slavery is still legal.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what, a reality show shot in an iPhone factory?
Oh.
There goes that iPhone endorsement. Continue.
Dunkirk is getting stellar reviews. Dunkirk,
yeah, and in fact, there's a veteran, someone I believe who was, and you know what? This is probably the best critical recommendation I could ever get. There was a guy, a veteran, dude that's in his 90s, who was part of the original Dunkirk, and he went and saw the movie and said it was like being there all over again. And when the soldier that was part of Dunkirk says that makes me want to rush out and see it. It's getting stellar reviews, which tells us a couple things. One, it is, it's a well-made movie. Two, Johnny Depp is definitely not in it. Oh, you can go on.
Oh, okay. Felicity Jones will play Ruth Bader Ginsburg in a biopic.
Wait, Felicity Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Is she a real person?
To Google. Let's see if Felicity Jones looks what I remember her. Okay. Now, just in case I'm forgetting something, let me just Google Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Those two things are nothing alike. What the? Oh, wait. Do you know what Ruth Bader Ginsburg looks like, Funkhauser?
Mm-mm.
Just Google Felicity Jones and Ruth Bader Ginsburg super quick. See what you think. I got to tell you, Felicity Jones, she falls into the aesthetically pleasing, classically symmetrical, easy on the eyes.
What's happening here? Are you dancing? Are you doing more art again?
No more art. I'm just saying she's.
What are you trying to say?
Really?
Oh,
I'm just saying she's.
I see what you're. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, Felicity Jones has got to play Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It must cover a time in Ginsburg life when she looked nothing like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. More news, Funkhauser.
Cisco.
What?
Cisco.
Does he still have the silver hair?
No, not the IT network card, Cisco. We're talking about the yes, he still has the silver hair. Mm-hmm. It's just a little further back now, probably. He released a remix of the Thong Song.
Oh, good. Good for him. Now I'll have two things to play in concert. What was the group Cisco was in?
Drew Hill. Drew Hill?
Drew Hill. I think it was Drew Hill. And I think that Drew Hill actually did really, really well, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had hits, and then Cisco was the breakout star. Hold on. Cisco now. I don't think he still has the...
Don't tarnish my Cisco memory.
Yeah, he's not silver anymore. He looks like he's...
It's just not dyed anymore.
It looks bleach blonde. There you go. Yeah. He was part of this group, Drew Hill, and they did really, really well. And then he went solo and he had the Thong Song, and everyone was like, Cisco will be the biggest thing ever. And Cisco's career got KO'd because remember he was Cisco the Dragon or something like that?
Yeah. He had a big tattoo.
Right, but do you recall the thing that utterly ruined his career was he did an unbelievably ambitious video featuring a CGI related dragon. Like it was like this massive dragon in the video, like for a budget that was similar to the Star Wars movie that had just come out. Like it was ridiculous, and he spent all his money and it failed miserably, and his label went, "We're done with you, there is no money." And it was like people point to Cisco's video featuring this dragon that no one ever saw because it flopped really badly is absolutely ruining his career. So good for Cisco for getting back on the dragon or the horse or whatever the hell it is that caused him to kick his career into high gear. But it doesn't suggest that you're exactly a wellspring of fresh creative ideas when your first release in like 20 years is a remix of your previous hit. Billy Ray Cyrus did that. Do you remember? Billy Ray Cyrus did like Achy Breaky 2016 or something like that. And it had, I think... It was set on a spaceship. The video was on a spaceship, and it had like I think MC Hammer was in the video too. The video was really something. And I think he was just going for the most absurd thing possible, thinking it would get shared over and over again because people would be like, "Look at this," but people went, "Don't look at this." Aw, too bad, so sad. I'm sorry. What else?
Stevie Wonder got married last weekend in L.A.
Oh man. Hope his new wife isn't a gold digger. He wouldn't be able to see it coming. She could rob him blind. Those are things that could potentially happen.
More?
What's the definition of endless love?
Well, I don't know. What is the definition of endless love?
Stevie Wonder and Helen Keller playing tennis. I noticed you didn't Karate Kid me on that one, Funkhauser. Is there any special reason for that?
No, just leave it there. It's good.
Okay.
I think the whole world Karate Kid did.
Read the news.
Doritos girl, Allie Landry, turns 44 today.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think she's celebrating by praying that one day she'll be known as something other than Doritos girl Allie Landry. She was like remarkably attractive, wasn't she? That was a whole thing. And wait, wasn't she married to Mario Lopez or engaged to Mario Lopez or something like that?
Ooh, I don't know.
Doritos girl Allie. I wonder what she's up to these days. Must be weird having the pinnacle of your career be a Doritos commercial. Because you know what? And I'm not saying that to diminish her or put her in a box or, then and now. Wow, she looks pretty much exactly the same. Good for her. Good
it's
for
all that Doritos money.
Yeah. All that Doritos money. And I would imagine, ironically, not eating very many Doritos. But it's got to be a strange thing having your life's work wrapped up into one thing, being defined as being Allie Landry, the Doritos girl. I mean, I'm even less accomplished than that. My career was over before it was done with. I was burnt out before I was even successful. Like, I got a bunch of money. I went and made a record, and then my record label got swallowed by a multinational conglomerate. And so I have, like, a vague hit. Like, I have one top 10 single that nobody remembers and nobody recalls. And that was, in many ways, the pinnacle of my career, and I don't let it get me down. So I guess Allie Landry probably has other things she does to make her happy. But you know what? I feel as though we're reaching a new peak. I feel like I'm going to hit a new pinnacle of my, note the sarcastic air quotes around this word, career, Funkhauser, with this next piece of news. So go right ahead.
Alex Trebek turns 77 tomorrow.
Oh, what do you get for the man who acts like he knows everything? Shuck it, Trebek.
Beep, beep, beep.
S words.
This game show host turns a ripe young age of 77 on Tuesday.
Who is smarmy and self-satisfied with a bristling mustache that he shaves and disrupts the continuum of the universe by doing so? When Trebek shaved the stash, it really does throw everybody for a loop. You ever seen Tom Selleck without his mustache? Magnum PI guy? You ever seen him after he shaves it? It's distinctly unsettling. It's almost like he's got too much. What do you call the area between your nose and your lip?
Oh, there is a thing that it's people are yelling in their cars.
Right. Well, whatever that thing is, it's probably normal sized on him. Like when he shaves, it's probably normal size on him, but it looks much, much too big. You're so used to it being occupied by mustache that when it's gone, it just seems like you could land a plane on it. It's crazy.
It's called the philtrum.
No kidding. No, I think the philtrum is just the thing from your nose down to your lip. I'm talking about the whole upper. Maybe answer my own question. Is it the upper lip?
Probably.
Like the philtrum, that little indentation below your nose, that's supposedly where God put his finger so you'd shut the hell up and listen more. That's the idea, I think. That's the old legend. Yep.
People just grow hair in that hole now.
What else?
Lamar Odom is writing a book.
Yeah, I heard about this. Lamar Odom, who used to be married to, which Kardashian is it?
Khloe, I think.
The one that's allegedly OJ's daughter. Yeah, I think he used to be married to Khloe. He's writing a tell-all book. And look, if you're like me, you don't usually go in for this sort of like bargain basement tabloid style journalism in any way, shape, or form. That's beneath you. If you're going to read something, you're going to read something edifying that warms the cockles of your heart, maybe even the subcockle region. You're going to read a book that makes you a better person or makes you laugh and enjoy life that little bit more. That's what I look to literature to do. And so generally speaking, when I hear that someone that was on a reality show is going to write a tell-all book, it makes the top of my don't read list. But for Lamar Odom, I'm going to read the hell out of that because he led a life that is so unbelievably debauched. I just got to know. I don't care about the Kardashian stuff. It's everything else. It's just insane what that guy has gotten up to. Like Motley Crue, look at his life's work in the world of partying and go, whoa, dude, slow down. The title of Lamar Odom's book, I believe, Cloudy with a Chance of 8 Balls.